I may be in.
You can see the police chase, the Leroy chase.
Oh yeah,
That was on there. You put that up there in Middletown.
that wasn't in the automation technology though. That was just on G+.
So you do this number.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a big cursor like me, and I curse bigly too, except today we kept it clean. And there you are, Automation Technology Club member.
Okay. Cool.
And there's that we're just looking at, and this is his new phone, $50 phone.
Well, it was $100 phone, but I bought 2 of them and got $100 off.
Oh, okay.
So
that ends up being 50.
So it ends up being 50.
And there's this little
or
thing we're talking about.
PC Twin. Right. Okay. Cool.
So that's all going on behind your back. And so you could always look this stuff up, and when you came in, you wouldn't have to ask, what's the number for that? Oh, there it is. You'd be in the know. See what I'm doing? I'm being a pond. This is called pond scum. You get more familiar with that. I'm selling this for him because he liked Google Plus, and I'm hyping Google Plus here. This is how you do it. You find out what they want, and then you put back.
So what is the etymology of pond scum then?
Etymology? I didn't add any of that. No.
The word history.
The word history. I don't know. It actually came to me from a guy from Colorado who used to regularly call me pond scum for my scheming for disseminating organized hierarchical information in the support of PathWorks product, of Digital Equipment Corporation's PathWorks networking product.
This is a long time ago then.
Yes, several years. As having been related.
So that moniker stuck to you.
At least 3 decades at this point. Dick has been gone.
I'm old.
Dick is
That hints we drive that I'm old. But go ahead and say it. You're old.
That's okay. I started working with computers in 1961. So.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't even a half of a thought.
Thinking about old stuff, you guys are collectors of wax, vinyl for audio.
I have a large collection of vinyl, but I'm afraid to play it because the one thing about vinyl, every time you play it,
it decreases in fidelity.
That's why they have USB players.
Vinyl has made a huge comeback.
Oh yeah.
The guy that owns Eli's barbecue, he's gonna have a new barbecue joint, and he's opening up a vinyl record. He's a big collector of vinyl, so it's gonna be a barbecue and vinyl record store.
Where's this?
I can't remember exactly. Somewhere downtown or in Clifton or. He started in a food truck, and now he's got a place there along the river on near Eastern Avenue.
So he's a roach coach, ex-roach coach.
Well, he started there, and then he built that. He has a house there that he converted. They put tents up and gravel parking lots. You bring your own, and he cooks out of that. And now he's going to open another restaurant, but it's going to have a vinyl records.
That's interesting.
Tied into it.
Combs Barbecue started with a stand.
That's in Middletown, isn't it?
Now they have Combs in Middletown.
Central Avenue. I didn't know they started with a stand. I drove past that last week.
They're pretty good.
So my friend Daryl, who lives on the other end of Middletown off Old 25, he said they do a pretty good job.
Old 25, that indicates he's lived in Middletown or been in this area a long time.
You said the same thing when I called it Old 25.
Yeah.
He lives off of Burnham Woods, my friend Daryl does. But I lived in Middletown from the age of like 5 at 1965 to like 86. So I grew up there.
Yeah.
So Old 25 is an old reference.
Yeah. Once you hear that, you know.
I got it.
That when did they drop Old 25?
I never heard it
since
until
88
a couple of
road.
years ago.
Oh, it's, yeah.
And somebody said I had no idea what they were talking about.
It went from Old 25 to Cincinnati Dayton Road.
Oh, okay.
But my grandfather, it was Cincinnati Dayton Road when we moved to Middletown, but they referred to it as Old 25. So
Yeah.
it had to be back in the early 60s.
You also can tell how old somebody is, at least in this area, if they call AK Steel Armco.
Yeah.
Armco, yeah.
I went and saw an Armco presentation.
Armco Park.
At Miami University about World War I, the participation of Armco as ambulance drivers in World War I in France.
I've always called it Armco, even today I call it Armco.
So you live in Middletown?
No, I was born in Middletown. I got the heck out of
I
Middletown.
moved out of Middletown in 1986. But
No, I'm living in Franklin right now.
oh, you're coming down from Franklin.
We lived in Monroe for a while.
Yeah, during
Much rather
the Great
live in Monroe.
Depression, you know, it was pretty bad, but in Middletown, because of steel needs and all that, and then the war, they didn't feel the depression like a lot of other places because of that.
Well, they were booming in World War I,
Oh,
and
yeah.
probably too also.
Yeah.
Because they were
Well,
building bombshells in World War I.
And there, you couldn't get rolled steel everywhere like you can now.
Mm-hmm.
They were the inventors of the rolling mill.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what American Rolling Mill Company, Armco.
Okay. And they let everyone use the patent for the rolling mills.
Well, it probably ran out too.
Well, they let them. They said they publicly released it. The guys up there, these were guys from Armco.
Yeah.
Geezers.
Well, you know, and my dad worked there. He says you can buy, they go rolled steel in China everywhere now.
I was the youngest guy there.
Oh, were you?
My dad worked at Armco
Half my family worked
for
there.
years. My dad's the historian for Middletown.
Oh, is he?
Well, he was probably there.
He probably
What's your dad's name?
Roger Miller.
Roger Miller. Yeah, I know who he is.
He works down at the library.
Little Green Apples, yeah. Anyway.
King of the Road, Roger
Yeah.
Miller.
That's him. Wrong one, but that's him. I think he almost wishes sometimes that he did that so that he would have a little extra cash.
He's a Maine historical guy. Well, they're redoing that Stork Opera House, which let's have nice concerts there.
Are they going to redo it?
Yeah,
They're
they're redoing
trying.
the whole building.
Whoa.
They're gonna have an art gallery in there and business offices.
Okay, and they're going to have the opera hall?
Yeah, and it's gonna be used for like small concert venues, speaking.
Are they going to do opera in there? Because I've been there for the
I don't know if they'll do opera, but they said they built that before microphones and it was a mainstay on vaudeville. So when they redid it, they said it's built, and they had all this stonemasons from Scotland come in.
Yeah.
They don't build stuff like that anymore.
Sword was a big deal back then.
Paper mill, but it's supposed to be maybe not as big as Bogart. You're going to have smaller acts, and but they've been trying to save that place for forever, and they finally did.
Yeah, well, they did. It's a lot of money if they retain the opera hall, which is really nice.
Yeah, and they got a chandelier from somewhere, and then they got a lot of the stuff when they redid Music Hall. Sword got a bunch of that too. They divvied that up to various places. They got a clip on the internet, and they showed the craftsmen building that place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 tunnels going from the mansion to the opera house and various places in the
Underground.
underground,
Really?
so people didn't have to get wet.
Sword was kind of weird like that. One of them went to the Sword Mansion, one of them went to somewhere else, and one of them went to Sword Paper Company. And they're all collapsing.
Back in the early
none of them
1900s, he spent $1 million on all that, and it would be like 20-some, $30
Oh,
million
yeah.
today.
and they're all collapsing. None of them are worth.
Is that right? The
Yeah,
tunnels?
they're not
Yeah.
safe. you do not want to be in those tunnels.
Well, back in the earlier days, they had prohibition was in that era somewhat.
Well, they said like Hamilton, it was Dillinger hung out there during, a lot of criminals hung out in New Richmond, Indiana, Hamilton. Of course, Dayton, that was the murder capital for per capita for years. Dayton had a real, I don't know if it's still
Really?
that murder rate. They called it Little Chicago because a lot of warehouses and factories, just like a smaller version of Chicago. Hi, Vice.
Hey, oh, Vicente.
I thought maybe you were gone. I got my stuff all over the place. Yeah, I'm sorry. Too much stuff. I got too much stuff.
If you give me your email, I'll call Steve when I get home and I'll email you with what. I was getting, Art wants to go to the Klug meeting tomorrow or Saturday.
Saturday, tomorrow I'm busy, but Saturday.
I saw you.
And you, sir?
Did you see it? Yeah. It's probably good because the battery died.
Need to bust his
You
chops
bring
because he's not
your-
doing good.
Steve?
Okay,
What's
What's that?
Bust his chops
Okay,
from
yeah, I saw it.
these guys.
So I'm
not
trying to
knowing where
charge
he's
the
gonna
battery
be
up
and
real
all that
fast.
stuff.
Well, he
already
blamed
showed something,
himself
or-
last week.
Do what?
He
You already
said,
saw.
Yeah, I was here. He
Yeah.
didn't hear what went on.
yeah.
I was just
Oh, yeah.
playing with it and the battery died. I didn't really show anything.
Now, if you ever get to Dayton, they have a big group up there too, so. We'll talk about this now. We'll talk about that
This
later.
part of startup, it's a Kickstarter or something. How long you were waiting for?
They were supposed to deliver in December. So it's
16?
It's a year or so?
Yeah, December 16th, 2016, and they fell short, but
Well, it's
you
okay.
know, they did actually deliver,
It
which
can be worse.
yeah, it could be worse. They actually were pretty good about telling people, you know, what was wrong or why they were behind, and that's one of the you know, it's when you don't communicate to your backers or anything that's no good.
So
So
this was a
usually-
Kickstarter thing, was it?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter, and I hope they actually continue because I actually kind of like this, but I don't know if it's going to be a continuation or if this was a lesson that they learned and went, oh, this was way harder than we thought.
Maybe they will use it for a finished product in
Yeah.
the future or something.
Speaking of projects, we have a project due tomorrow.
What's due tomorrow?
What project have we worked on? ABC, Christmas lights?
It's already
Oh.
here.
Okay. And they're gonna do it tomorrow?
It's been here for.
Are you gonna be here to show it?
When will be,
Oh,
will be
You
tomorrow?
mean it's actually tomorrow? The
21st, right?
Oh,
Saturday.
Right, he wouldn't show up.
Okay, yeah, I can come down here. I guess
what about an agenda?
I'm just
something?
reminding you, I'm not in charge, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. I guess
So,
I
You have demo it tomorrow?
Tomorrow is.
Well,
the
tomorrow's
It's
D-Day.
tomorrow's the day.
it's the-
I thought it was Saturday. I'll find out.
Tomorrow is, no, it's not
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
Friday is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, it's 21st.
Okay.
But you probably want to verify that with what's her face.
Well, they've still got it stashed away here someplace in the library.
Yeah. They did 1 week.
Yeah, I
They
left it
kept
down
it
here
here.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Leroy demoed it one of the weeks you were not here.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then they kept.
Do they
it
need
here.
you here?
Me neither.
I showed her how to use it, but I told her that if I could come and help hook it back up. So I don't have a problem coming and hooking it up.
Yeah, let's
It's-
see if
it's-
she needs you. She may not want you.
It's two wires.
But comb your hair if you come. But yeah, so, okay.
Get a
well, yeah,
perm.
Yeah.
You need a
A
Ponytail.
Ponytail.
Like this.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Or what's
no,
that
I did.
mullet? We
I
need a
did.
mullet.
Mullet or a man bun.
What do you think, a
Roll it
mullet?
up into a bun.
No, man.
Well, some of us are challenged in that.
Oh, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm getting thin. I get itchy scalp and I got
Maybe
sweat
we
rolling
can
in
do
my
a
eyes.
Harley
So
Davidson meeting also.
I'm growing the longer hair.
Harleys.
Not much more.
I had forgot. I didn't realize that. it
He
was
saved
this
his
late already.
bacon unintentionally.
Yeah, we'll just see if she needs you. But she may not need you here.
I remember that you said
well-trained.
they were gonna demo it, but I couldn't remember. I was here when we.
I thought it was the
The other
22nd for some reason.
I thought it was the 20. I thought it was Saturday too, but I'll find out. I'll figure it out.
I know she told, the night you did the demo, you were supposed to tell somebody on the way out that you were done, and they were gonna take it off and stash it in the closet.
And they did.
He
And
did.
before I even got a chance to tell them, it was already stashed somewhere. No. So it's been down here for
3 or 4 weeks.
yeah. It's been
Well, I
down
think
here for at least
You
3
got a
weeks.
video of the demo, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
I'm sure I
It
do.
was 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
at least 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 to 4. I couldn't remember.
Did you
Stranger Things.
Did you see it, Jim?
See what?
The demo?
The demo video.
No, I don't think so. But I knew what was going on. I knew what it was. I saw the early ones, and the prototypes looked great. Just what you proposed.
The,
We wanna see
the
that.
final look.
Oh, do we want to see that tonight? Review that tonight?
Um,
Gentlemen.
Is there any way to tell how full this battery is?
Alphabet wall.
The one that says Stranger Things NeoPixel LED test 510, 514, 2017, that's mine.
That's yours.
No, I wanted to telnet into it and show, the Linux console and everything. It's an embedded Linux. It's a weird Linux. I've never dealt with. Steve probably has.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's charging. I don't think it's charging as fast as I want it to. We'll try it again here in a minute. What are you doing, Mr. Jim?
Well, I'm prowling around looking for the announcement of the Stranger Things at
Do you
the
want to verify the date?
Midpoint Library. Yeah. Did you find the date up there?
No. I'm sure. I think in the original email she told us what it was.
I didn't see it. Well, she proposed it, but she didn't propose a date. But I think she said the date.
Yeah, I think she said what the date was in the original email. Here, let's do this before the battery kills itself again, which is highly likely.
What's the capacity of that battery, do you know?
Small.
Okay.
Of course, it's not coming up again.
Could be the voltage is too low.
The capacity is 500 milliamps hours.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
500 milliamp hours?
Well, for that little, in terms of cubic density, that is a lot of energy stored in that little.
In that little tiny.
Is it 3.7 volts?
Yeah.
Okay.
500 milliamp hours. Okay, that's 3.7.
But it
Well, I wonder if it's 3.7 all the way to the bitter end.
Yeah.
Is that polymer or just plain lithium ion?
It's a lithium ion. It doesn't look like it's taken enough charge to boot up the system though. Because it's not showing up. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's got. Here, let's do this. Let's just get rid of the
Are
battery.
you sending commands from Leonardo to the Linux machine? Or?
Yes. The Linux machine is actually sending commands to the Leonardo.
Okay.
Let's see
So
if
you're saying if this has a drop off, it
It's
really, your
probably
efficiency
sort of
battery,
linear as opposed to bam.
that's what you want.
Oh yeah, in an ideal world, that's what you want.
So this is kind of maybe a puffed based on performance because it goes like this instead of.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have no data to confirm that. I was just commenting that if it's really 500 milliamp hours at 3.7, that's an awful lot of energy to be storing in
That little piece.
There.
Maybe it'd catch fire like a Galaxy 7 Fun.
Please don't.
Well, the reality is, Apple already went down that road about 10 years ago when they had laptops catching fire.
Those hand spinners, apparently that was a thing on the news this morning. Catching those little hand
Oh,
spinners.
yeah.
Okay, so
Well, they're plugging that Apple with that Galaxy 8 phone. That's pretty pricey, I guess, but.
They're calling it Escape the Upside Down Session 1 and Session 2. Session 1's at 11.
is that what they're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Want me to put it up?
No. I want to play with this for a second. All right. Let's see if we could actually get it. Live view. So I'm going to stream an MPEG, an MJPEG. There's the room.
Okay.
Notice I'm not using the battery, so I'm limited to how far I could actually drive this thing. See, it takes it a while to actually catch up with the stream though.
Yep.
So this is driven directly from the card, the video card. The motors are driven from the video card.
It's not a video card.
What is it?
It's a they called it a Raspberry Pi with an Arduino on board
Okay, so
and an NPU.
so you're driving it from the Raspberry Pi board. The motors are driven directly from the Raspberry Pi board.
There's an L298 in there, motor driver.
And that's on the board,
No, it's
separate. Oh, okay. So you're using the driver, going through the driver board?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see it's working pretty well,
Yeah.
Yep.
even if it is wired.
And you see it looking at the,
Yeah, it's
Are you
working
planning
good.
nesting, maybe to follow a color or something?
That's
Not
what
yet.
that's what I
A
wanted.
ball, a red ball or green ball.
I've got a couple of balls and I wanted to do that, but I haven't gotten. I don't really understand how the OpenCV is working yet, and so they're
I
basically.
think Jeremy was working on
Yeah.
OpenCV, right?
Yeah, Jeremy knows a lot more about OpenCV than I do.
Oh, Jeremy.
Their basic setup is what they call a web app, which is basically a website. And the website comes up like that, and you can do some moderate control with it. And they provide a sketch that the website talks to the sketch, and the sketch controls the robot. So every time you click on this, it sends. The sketch is a streaming sketch, so it's always listening like a WebSocket. So it's always listening, and you click on this, and it says
Send command.
it sends a command to it. Basically, when you click on forward, it's sending 100 and 100, or no, 150 and 150, which is the pulse width modulation for the motors. I had to add 20 to that because I'm using a different drive system than they're using.
Are
So
these stepper motors?
no, it's DC motor,
DC motor, oh, you're using pulse width modulation.
pulse width modulation.
Okay.
So when it turns, it's sending like a 0 on one side and an 80 on one side. And then the opposite, it's sending like an 80 and then a 0. And it's a real simple website ish.
Maybe you can send the opposite value if you want to turn
Yeah.
the center of the robot, almost
Yeah,
close to.
I need to, well, that's what I wanted to kind of do, because there's a way we should be able to tone that into this thing.
You can
If I can.
directly type in the command.
Wait, what is my login? Sorry.
So you're saying this is links right here?
I don't remember what the password, what the login was. Basically, they've got one documentation for this thing too, which is this, and it's. Let's see. I forgot what my password was. OpenCV. Build, copy, build. Oh, crap. It was in here. I don't remember where I saw it at. I don't see. Did they change this? I don't see the password now. Oh, root. Root is the username, and then there is no password.
Makes it easy, I guess.
Not very secure, but it's easy.
Except when you don't remember.
You think you have a password.
remember
there's
that
no-
I have a password.
I don't remember. I don't have a password.
Yeah.
Worse.
Something about the memory is the second thing to go, and I can't remember what the first thing was.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the first thing was. So the SD card has like the OpenCV, and that's where the website actually sits. So I can modify the website for anything that I wanted to do.
So it runs off that script on the website.
It does.
That you can modify.
So what is the website? I mean, what is the web server? Some kind of little dedicated,
Yeah, I seriously doubt that they're running Apache.
one
Is there-
would
is there
think
a good
that
way
would
to
be
find-
highly unlikely. Yeah.
Is there a good way to find out? Because I didn't see that anywhere in their documentation. Is there any way to?
Unless it identifies it,
You are using a server outside the.
No, it's running a little tiny.
Is inside this network.
It's running a little tiny server, but I don't know what it's actually running.
could be a little Python server or something like that.
That would be my guess. But there's all the classes.
If Steve was here, he could crack that nut problem.
Yeah.
Is he not showing up tonight, or do you know?
I didn't talk to him, so since he's not here, I guess he's. I was gonna ask him about the meeting, but he's not here.
OpenCV, blah, blah, blah. I don't really see anything that would tell me what that server actually is. Probably could run another script on it just to find out. That's the website. That's the source code for the website.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to decipher all that garbage.
How did you find out about this site?
Well, it's on the board.
Yeah, with the,
Yeah.
when you buy the board, it provides you.
This.
Well, it's on the micro CD, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, right. Linux is embedded, and if you pull the card out,
Mhm.
you don't have the website.
But the Linux is still there.
But as far as
So is there a flash memory on the board itself?
it's not very much, if there is, but yes, there's got to be. And the other thing that I did was It doesn't know FS-H. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know any of my typical.
That's bare bones.
It doesn't know any of the typical commands that I wanted to know. I mean, I'm sitting there going,
Just try LSUSB.
LSUSB. There it is. There's LSUSB.
So it knows that.
There's 3 devices attached, apparently. That is less than helpful, though.
Well,
Most of them tell you a little bit more than that.
try LSUSB space dash lowercase v.
Vertical.
B.
Yeah. Shit. Okay.
No help available. Of course not. So it's running. That explains a lot right there.
What, BusyBox?
BusyBox. It's not a
Yeah.
full. It's not a full blown Linux.
Just a little standalone bare bones.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Well, if you did a search on BusyBox with that version, you might be able to identify it. Damn, I went down the wrong tube.
People 1.6. 1.16.1.
Okay, there you go.
You give the password and log in for the network
well,
of the,
so that's
the
a
library?
way old BusyBox then.
to the where you put the password and network name in the robot in the board.
Oh
You didn't.
no.
Then this is a server by itself. It is a Wi-Fi access point.
Yeah.
You don't need internet to access.
Nope.
Okay. All the software, all the server is in the board,
On the
and
board,
you are
yeah.
using a browser to reach it,
Right.
like a
Right.
human interface, human.
The
HMI.
the password was for
Okay.
for telnetting.
You are not using internet
No.
stuff. Okay, it's a server in the
Right.
board.
Well, it's a stub server. The point is,
It's a pretty
standalone.
Yeah.
it's a pretty lame server.
Understood.
On the other hand, they've got it stuffed into a pretty small
Yeah.
piece of hardware there. So, and what does this thing cost?
It was
Will cost finally the product they say will cost $60. You pay maybe 40 something.
I think I paid $39 for it because I got in on the early bird
Yeah.
deal.
They say that will go
Were they fully
by
subscribed?
$60 or something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be right around $60, maybe $70.
So were they fully subscribed?
Fully subscribed.
They always have a target amount of
Oh
capital.
yes.
Okay.
They went beyond what they.
Yeah.
Yes. They were just really behind. I mean, it was supposed to be here in December. I'm not really upset about it because it seems like it's a decent
Because
board.
the hardware they explain why
Yeah. There was some problem with the main processing chip.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
Is this a proprietary chip or is this something they were using a commercial chip of some sort and repurposing it?
Well, from my understanding, whatever the chip was is no longer being manufactured at all.
So they were using a commercial chip that is no longer available.
Right.
And so they had to switch horses in the middle of the stream.
Well,
so to speak.
what they ended up doing instead of scrapping the whole design and starting over was paying more for all the chips that they could get their hands on.
Surplus parts.
All the surplus.
So all the work in process they bought up. There's only one problem with that. sooner or later.
They're going to have to redesign this thing.
Yeah.
If-
I think that it will be easy to move all the project to the P0 with the camera and maybe an Leonardo, just connect it together.
Yeah.
Maybe reuse all the software.
Yeah, I think hopefully it won't be that big of a deal to redesign it. It would be, they would have to change the chip, but speaking of the camera pops off and you can use this little cable
Yeah, so
to
put the camera in
put the camera
in a server
wherever.
or mounted.
That looks like the
Like a
cable for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a much,
It's different.
It's a lot different.
many fewer pins.
It's probably got the same number of pins, but it's
No,
much
that-
smaller
No, I can
format.
tell you, that I can tell by looking at it. It's small.
But hopefully it won't be too hard for them to find a replacement chip and just redesign the board around the new chip. Don't mess with it. I see you over there, Ray.
He's getting ideas, he's taking pictures.
No, we're in the process of building a GoPro mount for ours. We're popping screws off, I see.
Yeah, I modified it slightly just because.
Oh, so you're driving it around using what command?
It's just a website. It's sending pulse width modulation up to it.
Yeah,
Oh, you're using it by HTML
Uh,
on the Wi-Fi module?
it's on the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
8266.
No, it's its own deal, Bob. Do you notice what I've noticed this past time? The picture really hasn't updated.
Frozen in
Yeah.
time.
I could drive it around, but I can't see where I'm at.
So I'm working on doing a Wi-Fi portal of the video and UDP control
There it is.
of other commands.
Can you control minus to reduce the size of everything?
I don't know. Not really.
Okay.
Oh, look, all my little things are.
Buttons got smaller.
Or your little thing.
If you
All my little buttons.
make your web page smaller, the web browser, does it make your view section smaller? Or it just crops it?
No.
So you just cropped part of it.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's
That's good.
Oh,
It's-
sure, show art.
it's not as designed as. I'm just using the website, the web page that was already in there, already.
Okay.
But I can drive it around.
You got your cable underneath the wheel.
Of course I do.
That was my plan, right?
I meant to do that.
It's one thing to be underneath the wheel. It's another thing to be bound between the body and the wheel.
What's the USB connector, the white cable on it for?
Because the battery.
Battery's dead.
This battery didn't charge. So I'm just using it as power. I'm using the Uno. There's an Uno under here, but I'm only using it to serve as a common ground between the motor driver, the batteries, and
Oh, so that other car is actually doing everything.
yeah, that card's doing everything. It's got a Leonardo on board. It's got a little Linux processor on board. It's got the camera. It's got, does it have Bluetooth? I don't remember if it had Bluetooth or not. I know it's got Wi-Fi. I don't think it's got Bluetooth.
That's an expensive short to use for,
Yeah, $3.
to use a Arduino Uno as a
Oh.
ground plane.
It was there. It was easy to do. So save me from taking the bottom of the robot off to get to the ground. Because that's obviously, they make a driver board specifically designed for their board, plugs onto the back of it. I didn't buy the driver board because I wanted this thing faster, and with the intentions that I could use it with anything, and apparently I can't. Oh, you're blinding the crap out of it.
Oh, is that blinding?
It's all good.
It's all good. But it's running a little Linux server. It's a neat board. They don't have a whole lot of tutorials or demos or anything, so it's pretty much, you got to figure it out. And there's the sketch that they provided, I had already found 2 or 3 errors in it and told them about it. Told them that there's something not right.
We don't need documentation.
We don't need no stinking documentation.
It was hard to do. It
You don't
should be
need
hard to
papers.
fix.
And
Try
what's,
to make it easy.
Yeah.
You can do it
what?
halfway.
It's called job security.
I said, the robot kits haven't even hit, nobody's even got the robot kits yet, and I'm already finding errors in their robot.
Started with no instructions.
No instructions.
Oh, sorry. Your instructions, I'll email them to you tomorrow.
So
We've got 3D solid models and assembly instructions. So.
Running over the battery.
I know. I saw that. It's a pretty neat little.
You see the battery?
Yeah, it's just a type of battery. 3.7.
You got the port again.
Oh, I'm also going to run over somebody's glasses.
Wow, let me get this out of the way.
I couldn't even get close to it if I wanted to. But, so anyway, that's pretty much what I got for that, I guess, unless somebody else has more whatevers.
Is the acoustic distance measurement working?
No, it's not even hooked up.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just trying to make their sketch work as it was intended to work with their robot. I will add more stuff later.
okay.
You know me, I'll add more stuff. There'll be a lot more. I'll probably move it over to the bigger robot.
You.
Okay,
What was the cost on this?
Well, I paid like $39, but I think the target price is around 60, maybe 65. I'm not sure.
What kind of, it says they have a full-on robot.
Yeah, the robot was a lot more expensive, and I didn't think I needed it.
it looks like this series has obsolete parts on it. If you buy it at the full price, it'll be the new one, or
I think they're still trying to fulfill the Kickstarter
Oh.
stuff right now. I'm not, and I hope that they continue because I think it's a good thing, but I don't know what their actual ultimate plans are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll have to run a second Kickstarter again once they update the hardware or not, which they probably will. They're probably on the verge of being broke.
Where are they located?
China.
Oh, really?
It's a Chinese company, Hicat Electronics,
Shenzhen.
Shenzhen. Kind of surprised that they couldn't find somebody there in Shenzhen that went back them with some money or whatever. But
Sometimes Kickstarter is just a marketing approach. Not that they need the money, but that or they just want somebody to help pay for their development costs.
I don't get that impression from this particular Kickstarter. I get the impression that they actually needed the money to make this happen. At least that's the impression I get. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the impression I got.
That ShriCam camera I've been showing, they have a high resolution model now they're offering. And I've asked some questions about ShriCam and the new resolution. It's supposed to be display resolution right in there is 1280 by 720. That's the sensor, I guess. And then it talks about the resolution being 1080p. That's 1920 by 1080. This is supposed to be a 1080 camera. So what is 1080? I don't know. There's a display resolution of 1280 by 720. Is that 1080? No?
Nope.
And the resolution of I guess the display resolution is 1080 by, or is 1920 by 1080. Is that 1080?
That's 1080.
That's 1080.
That's 1080.
Okay. So the sensor does not have 1080 resolution.
Apparently not,
Yeah.
according to those specs.
Is that 720? Or less than 1080?
Some kind
And
of
more than
interpolation or something.
Well, they do require two transmissions for one frame, it looks like. I don't know if can they shift the camera or shift the picture or something? Is this a 1080 pixel camera? 1080p camera?
No, they're playing some kind of game where they take two images slightly offset from each other and interpolate a 1080.
Okay,
It's
so
kind of like NTSC used to be. I don't know how familiar you are with TV, but
They play. I've got a 4K camera, and that's what they do. They're playing some sort of weird game to get you up to that 4K.
I think a lot of the guys may be doing this with the video resolution, because I noticed with the Foscams, invariably they'll be saying 480 or 360,
yeah,
and then they claim 640.
yeah.
Now, is that really giving me the resolution, or are they lying to me? Is that giving me that
I
resolution?
think they are making some kind of
It is
interpolation
marking
to frame the
documentation.
image in
I'll
another
let
side.
you fill in the rest, okay?
That 4K camera I've got, if you take a still 4K image and then you look at it to see what it actually comes out at, it's not even close to 4K.
Okay.
But if you looked at it just
File specs.
file wise, it sort of appears to be a 4K image. But they're playing some sort of weird game, and I would
Well, you're
imagine
talking
that
about
they're
a
doing.
raw image now. You're not talking about JPEG or something like that where there's compression involved.
Right.
Oh, this is H.264 compression. Also, I noticed the size of one of the pictures was a frame off the 720p camera was like 90K.
That's raw.
That's wrong.
No, that's not raw. That's
Oh.
compressed.
Compressed, okay.
Yeah, that's compressed.
They're playing some sort of weird.
Yeah, well, they're taking advantage of the fact that the human eye is only so good.
You'll probably not really see it unless you got really, really good eyes.
Well,
Well, they do have a
Not
zoom
even-
feature that you got like a 4x zoom on these things. So you should be able to tell the difference if you zoom full out, right?
yes.
That it's really not 1080p.
But keep in mind, the human eye only has so many cones. And therefore, once you exceed that,
Yeah.
you know, you're
Yeah,
you're done.
but if you expand, if you have that picture and you expand it,
Yeah.
you should be able to, it's going to try to pixelate on you, and you
Yeah.
should see the pixels, and it should
At
give
some
you that
point you should.
1080 resolution when you zoom out.
Yep.
But in this case, it's probably not. You're telling me.
Yes,
Because it's interpolating.
that's correct.
That dash cam I've got, that actually is a real 1080p camera. It actually gives 1080p. Then I go and compress the hell out of it so that I can actually use it for something.
And that's a big deal. That's what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. You get these nice 1080p cameras and you access it over the internet. Yeah, no.
So of all this sleight of hand stuff, what good is standards?
I'm sorry?
All this sleight of hand stuff, what good is the quote standard label of 1080 and
It's 1080p.
It's, they're doing
playing
something.
fast and loose?
They're not paying the royalties for a real 1080p sensor and blah blah blah, but they can claim it all they want.
Yeah.
As long as they're close.
Just marketing spin.
It's pretty, that 4K camera that I've got, that's all that is. That it was straight up marketing as a 4K camera.
Also known as BS.
Yeah, BS.
Well, I knew it was BS when the camera itself was $39.
Oh, really?
That was a clue.
What was your first hit?
You
4K,
get what you pay for.
4K, $39, no problem.
So here's the
There you go.
here's the Escape the Upside Down session 1. The event is full, 11 a.m.
All right.
I'll just call her and ask her if she wants you to come in if she needs me. Just say, do you need me?
So that's tomorrow. I'll
Yeah.
yeah.
Where'd you find this?
I'll send you that.
Send it to me, I guess.
I'll put the link on the meeting announcement, and I'll also send a copy to you.
Yeah, that'll work.
You pulled on it. You're on their webpage, aren't you?
Oh. okay.
Yeah, I'm on the web page for the site or the library.
The event is full. Well, they have a certain number of,
Depending on where they're showing it.
If they're-
12.
They have 2 sessions. They have a later session too.
So they've got 11 to 11:45. If they're trying to run people through like every 15 minutes or something, they're not giving themselves a whole lot of time to do.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty tight.
I got the message to you, and let's see. I should have copied the link, but I'm just not that smart. You don't have to agree. I didn't say a word. I don't know.
I didn't say a word.
I didn't say nothing.
This is like my wife.
Yeah.
She says, I can tell by the way you look. So I didn't have to open my mouth to get in trouble.
See, she saved you all that exercise. You didn't have to open your mouth at all and you're in
Oh,
trouble.
yeah, I was-
Sunday, did you find a better way to turn your balancing? You had the balancing thing for the ball.
I didn't work on it last week. I went to Venezuela and came back on Sunday, last Sunday,
And came back alive.
like Luke
I was
Skywalker
gonna say,
going out from the
you were fortunate.
Death Star when it was.
Yeah, I think of you and I think of Venezuela and I.
Real problem.
Do you have a business down there or something other than, so you have to go there?
I have my companies there.
So the answer is yes, okay, got it.
Look at how packed on that thing is.
This is their own pinout, right? Layout.
Yeah, and it's smaller than the Uno board.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take and you look,
Yep.
it is
This
a lot smaller.
it came with the pin
They-
already.
They were
soldered.
already soldered on.
Good.
Yeah, they were already soldered on. It came in that nice little box. It was.
Yes, I saw it.
Now, is the camera plugged in or is it soldered in?
It is plugged in. So you can unplug it. It'll pull right off of the board.
I think I'll not tempt fate, so
Yeah.
to speak.
I'm not ready to tempt fate either.
I think I will leave.
That cable, one end will plug into the board and one end will plug into the camera, and you can mount it on a servo or whatever.
My jury rig battery here.
They had a control versus PLC or PLC versus micro Arduino article. I got a link to it in the meeting notes. It set me off because they didn't say, oh, you could use a PLC or you could use this. And it didn't mention safety or how the PLC is built or the architecture of the PLC or anything. Just this is how you connect it up.
Whose
So I wrote the guy,
PLC?
and
Whose
he-
PLC were
he was
they
okay.
using? Whose PLC?
Didn't matter. And all of them have watchdog timers. All of them look at the I/O to see if it's still there. Just all of them have isolated analog inputs except the crazy people. And he didn't mention isolated. He was interested when I mentioned you really should have isolated analog inputs if you're going to use it in the field. In a lab environment, fine. A typical Arduino knucklehead in the control, trying to do control world talk, scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Was he basically trying to justify why to use an Arduino?
He
instead
just
of
showed you
using a
how
real
you would
PLC?
use it in the control environment. It didn't say a word about safety or.
Redundancy or watchdogs?
Yeah.
Did you like how I attached that?
Didn't understand. But, you know,
I cut
gave it some reading
holes out and
material.
just shoved the board into it.
Typical guys coming from that side. I say we get people in here
The
talking
board
about
doesn't have
process control,
holes, right?
micros.
Yeah, it does.
There's a nice fingerprint all over that line.
Yeah, I can see the fingerprint.
Oh,
Quality.
That's probably me. I probably touched the stupid thing.
Good, it wasn't a tongue print.
I was gonna take my thumb and try to, but I thought, nah, better.
That looks like a standard camera lens mount. For that
The,
size,
the,
it
the,
looks like
the lens is a standard lens.
is it glued in place?
No, I don't think so.
It's
You know,
proven.
it
You
might,
should rephrase that in an answer that's spelled Y-E-S.
it might be, because they said something about having a fixed focal length on it or something.
Yeah, this section screws in, but it's glued in place afterwards.
Yeah,
Daggone.
they wanted to keep the focal length
Fixed.
fixed. Don't break it, Ray. Jeez.
I was trying.
It's good.
Yeah, he didn't throw it on the floor, did he?
He's the one,
Buy you another
he's the
one.
one that's gonna
He just
unplug
get
it
down
now.
to the granular level.
He's unplugging it, okay.
Little
I'd
piece
buy
of
you-
foam board and a rubber band holding it on there.
Hey,
Where-
Sophisticated.
Were you using the antenna on it?
No,
Little SMA antenna?
no. It's got a ceramic antenna on it. It's Leonardo compatible microcontroller.
Okay.
Yeah, there is definitely a fingerprint on there. I don't know where that came from. I don't think that was mine.
all right, everybody.
Come on, give us your fingerprint.
There's a little microphone, and then there's a speaker on the back. So apparently they've got ideas for
Yeah.
to do other things with it too.
Jam this whole room full of music, huh?
So there is a speaker on it, or are there?
There's a
connectors?
speaker connector. That's
Oh,
what that
oh.
is.
Line output.
PWM.
Let's see.
It doesn't say.
Let's see.
Well, how would you tell, Ray?
Plug a speaker into it.
You gotta
All
plug
the
a
trace over to an op amp.
All you have to do is put
Whatever.
a scope on it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna power it up with my tongue or nothing.
I don't. I mean, everything's so freaking small on this thing. I don't know how you'd tell.
They had a map of the board in there, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's some kind of
I mean-
middle bone or
There's.
You're not talking about a schematic, you're just talking about a functional map.
Yeah. They had a map of all the connections and labeled all the connections.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a speaker connector.
Plus.
you have the schematic of this. It's an open hardware.
It's open hardware, yeah.
But the tripping point is the chip they've got in it that is no longer available.
One of these big chips is no longer available.
They bought up all the obsolete.
They bought up all of them they could get their hands on to fulfill
To
the
deliver the-
Kickstarter stuff.
Mm.
Somewhere along the line, I think they're going to have to redesign this board. I mean,
Do they know that it's obsolete?
oh yeah,
Yeah, they went out and purposely bought all the.
they didn't know when they started the project that they were going to go obsolete, but midway through the project, they went obsolete.
We figured it out.
They figured it out.
It happens.
It's another reason why I don't think they were backed by somebody that
Well,
has.
usually
a lot of
manufacturers
money.
tells you 2 years in advance when they plan to stop manufacturing chips. Sounds.
It doesn't really say. It just says speaker. I'm
Shit. Should work.
no.
Well, Mouser, usually Mouser and DigiKey used to advise about the chip. Don't use it for new designs. Not recommended. And
Yeah, Mouser's pretty
Yeah,
good
yeah.
about that. Yeah. You can use it, but don't use it for any new stuff.
Okay, so the
About to be.
traces go directly over
deprecated.
to the MediaTek board. Looks like a daughter board.
The weird little thing that's soldered on there.
Yeah, it's soldered on with 6 points.
Yeah, I thought that might be the Wi-Fi board. I
That says
don't
MediaTek.
I don't know what that board
That's
is.
going to be like an audio board or something. MT760 TUN.
MT760 MT.
TUN. MT760 TUN.
Repeat. To you.
MT. I don't know what that is.
It's an office in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, Middle East office.
There we go.
Thank you.
It's a banking instrument.
Also,
Swift code.
Banking.
Are you sure that that's what that says? They're all pretty.
You gotta be careful with
date of
all
manufacturing.
Swift codes and stuff. I had somebody send payment for laser machines. They sent them to the wrong bank.
Here we go. MT.
Somebody got $20,000 in their bank account.
So
Wasn't
round-
me.
Got a round
Real
number
tech.
wrong or?
Yeah, my customer did the routing number
It's a Wi-Fi board.
wrong. That's what that MediaTek is?
MediaTek provides Linux driver for USB Wi-Fi dongles based on MT7610U, blah, 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 chipset, blah, 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 blah. That would be one of those. That would be why it showed up as a USB device, probably.
That's a crazy big.
That seems like about
Wi-Fi
the right
board.
size for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we got the 8266.
That's why I thought when I first saw it, it was a Wi-Fi board. They're not using 8266. They're using an actual real Wi-Fi board.
8266 is a good Wi-Fi board.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying they're using a real Wi-Fi board.
Is 8266 not a real Wi-Fi board?
It is. It's just
He kind of shrugged his shoulders.
you see the MediaTeks are used in laptops and
Yeah.
computers. You don't see an 8266 used in a laptop.
Oh, you know.
So this is a real Wi-Fi board. That's a play board.
That's why you discounted it.
It's an Atmel chip
Yeah.
with a couple of other things on it.
It's full of parts.
Yeah, it's full of parts.
I saw an article.
So is it an URSAT, cheap substitute?
Something like that. I saw an article where they were using the 8266-12 and they were transmitting broadcast television with it. Yeah, they put a little wire on it for an antenna.
Okay.
You're broadcasting. We're talking no extra stuff. One little piece of wire.
So there's four little
From the,
From the
four little
8266
mount
board.
holes.
Yeah.
okay.
So they were
You
broadcasting
probably need
They
some
were
spacers or
doing
something to keep them up.
3D, like video game quality,
Yeah.
3D
Tiny.
rendering,
It's tiny.
and transmitting that rendering right over, and they were just watching it on a broadcast.
When I first got that, I thought,
Channel 30.
wow, I was expecting it to be about the size of an
That
Uno.
was
Yeah.
nice.
It's smaller.
It's small.
This is the battery.
Battery, yeah. And it's got a charger on it, so I just need to go and let it actually probably plug it into a real charger, not a USB.
Let it overnight.
I was gonna ask you guys, do any of you guys have a really good wiring schematic for an 8266 using the Uno or the Mega as the the real command processor. Because I know you can use the 8266 by itself, with programs inside. I'm actually wanting to go to using the 8266 as just a communications module. It's like, hey, throw on a radio. I need that.
It's really not that. I'll find it. I'll see if I can find it. That is how it came.
Sorry.
Which ESP8266 do you have?
01. You want to make them all compatible with 01? So with the 8-pin,
Yeah.
2 or the 4.
To use with AT commands, or
That's basically what I'm expecting to do.
that was the way
Zero
I did it
communication.
at first,
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago. I did a lot of stuff with AT commands.
You know, you've got to shift the logic, right, from 5 volt to 3 volt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's you're talking about the transmit line going from the Arduino to the.
Both of them. Both. You just shift it. Both
The receive
directions.
and the transmit?
I do.
You
Right.
should be able to wire the receive
You need
going
to-
from the.
Only the TX line you need to
Yeah.
divide with 2 resistors.
I do
And
both.
you need a power at 3.3 volts
Mhm.
power at least 250 milliamps at least.
Yep.
And a big capacitor, because the 8266 use a lot of current, but like burst of current
Mhm.
when
So
it
you need
transmit.
noise suppression, basically.
I had a lot of trouble with it because the power supply.
I think that's what was wrong with the other one that I had was power. Because I replaced it with a different 8266 and it worked just fine. Something that actually liked 5 volts. I don't see. Oh, this one's probably all right.
I haven't.
I need to talk with Carol about what days I'll be here in town, like next weekend, and have an open build day at the shop. That way we don't have to resort to styrofoam.
Next weekend, you mean a week from this coming Saturday?
Yes, like 9-10 days away.
I have the 8266-1
Mhm.
working since 2 years ago, using the trinket from Adafruit. The micro is AT Tiny 85, sending AT commands, and it's still working, sending the temperature. It's online now
Still running.
in Venezuela. 2 years and a half, 2 years and a half working continuously.
Cool.
Using AT commands.
And it's hosting a web page.
Excuse me?
And it's hosting a web page.
No, it's ThinkSpeak. It's a web page that they serve graphics for your application for free.
Okay.
It's nice. You can customize the graph, the aberration. You can save. They have I don't remember, maybe 10,000 points as a buffer. You can review them, download them. They have it as a demo, but it's working since 3 years ago or so. every 30 seconds, there is a new point in the graph. I did it with the water tank level also, another one. Use another one for the light of the office. I plug a lot of stuff just to check how it's working, and they still working.
I just sent you a link to
A good tutorial?
it's pretty close to the one that I was using before, but I don't use the O1s anymore, so.
We're just trying to use the base easy stuff. What's the one that you switched to?
I've just gone with the Node MCUs now, or the Wemos, or whatever.
I'm trying to stick with Arduino Uno, Arduino Mega, and adding items rather than saying, hey, we'll just completely switch over to a Node MCU.
There is an ESP8266. I don't remember which model it is. I think it's maybe the 7 that just provides an RX and a TX line. That's all. It's power, RX, TX, ground.
Okay.
So I mean, as far as dirt simple to hook up and use, that's the one, because it even provides 5 volt, or the level shift for the 5 volt.
So it's already at 5 volt? Okay.
So,
Is it any more compliant for the voltage problem? You know what I mean?
I used it. I've got one, and I put it in the Hero robot, and I've never really had a problem with it.
Okay.
But that one may have been a fluke, or it may be a good board. I don't know, because I've only got the one. But as far as dirt simple to hook up, that's dirt simple to hook up. The O1s, you've got to play around with a little bit. You got to bring 2 or 3 of the lines up.
Using pull-up resistors?
You got to bring them high and
With pull-up resistors? Or did you wire them directly?
I used a level shifter, but that's what I used.
Okay.
What, did you have something on mind for next week?
You want to do those, Laura?
The what?
Laura,
Lower
long,
board?
long, long distance.
Low range communication.
Yeah. I pick up 2 of those boards. I should be able to
To do something with it.
maybe throw one in the car and throw one here. Nah. Line of sight. It won't go through
How
the
far
building.
they communicate?
They're talking, what,
Kilometers.
kilometers, like
Yeah.
15 kilometers,
Low speed?
Very low speed.
low speed,
What do they call low speed?
low speed.
9600 RPM?
One
9600
bit per second.
One bit, maybe.
No.
Yes.
No,
It's
it's
slow.
1,000.
They're talking about,
How?
No, it's slow. It's
100 bits per second or 10 bits per second.
It's some kind of spread spectrum
yeah.
energy.
It's not spread, it's actually the opposite of spread.
It's
isn't it?
narrowband.
It's
Narrow
it's
band.
narrow band.
And it's
very
slow
low.
because it's a lot
Modern Morse
of
code.
redundancy.
Yeah, no joking.
Somebody that video you showed last week had compared it to Morse code.
Can be used for what is the use
Very
for?
narrow, very low, goes
To look at
away.
the mailbox was open or
I
something.
put the
I
link
guess.
to
The
power-
back
the power
on
is
there,
very low.
so the
Yeah.
meeting
Power,
notes,
yeah.
but they had a good, they went through the
Was
whole
Morse
thing.
code.
Can use
And
batteries.
it's very low, it's not
On
spectrum, it's very narrow,
Wrong
very-
batteries.
low information.
Can
Guy was from Switzerland, I think.
So doing
Austria,
very
somewhere
long
there.
distance
somewhere Austria, Switzerland.
monitoring
We need to get you to
something
you might
that's way out
understand
in
it.
the
Well, Art probably
field
understands it.
somewhere
You understand that?
with low power or
Demo?
solar power.
okay.
Well,
That's
that's
the
very,
Very
the
specific
low pa- low
use.
power.
Very low
I can
bandwidth.
remember,
Batteries,
this was a
long
long
distance.
time ago.
We need to get
Low,
Working
low,
long
Leroy
haul.
low
some
bar rate.
on
blank
CW,
tops for his compact
with,
rover, so
I don't know,
he can
10
avoid
watts,
the
something like that.
styrofoam problem.
And this was back in the days, long before ICs. This is in the late 50s.
That's my solution to adding stuff.
See that?
But, you know, you
We need to work
Very
with, like,
narrow
Dremel
bandwidth.
and,
Rubber bands and styrofoam.
and
relatively
blank-
low frequency. I mean, I wasn't
tops.
doing this at 25 words a minute. I was doing this at probably 7 or 8 words a minute.
They allow you to connect through your phone to their international network, and the start is 925. The local open band, I guess, is public band, and then you connect to a gateway device which connects to your phone uplink to whatever you can use a phone to international, and it's very low